So I'm going to move on now and we'll do the endocrine system. Now, the endocrine system is one of two communication systems in the body. What's the second one? The nervous system. So as a general rule, the nervous system is very fast, uses electrical impulses, they're there for a millisecond, and the response is fast, and the duration is short. It's all very snappy and firing. The endocrine system is much slower. If you like, summing it up, you could think about the nervous system tends to be more reactionary, whereas the endocrine system is more regulatory. And it uses hormones as the message. And the hormones are produced from specialized glands called endocrine glands. Now, we've talked about endocrine glands before, just as an overview. Can you remember two features about all endocrine glands? They don't have a duct, and the product is secreted straight into the bloodstream. Okay, so endocrine glands do not have a duct, and the product, i.e. the hormone, goes directly into the bloodstream. That's as opposed to, what's the other sort of gland? The exocrine glands, and of course they do have a duct, and where does their product go? It tends to go into some sort of cavity, so your mouth or the lumen of the gut or something like that, as a general rule. Now, if we think about hormones themselves, hormones do not conform to any one chemical group. And as such, there are very variable molecular sizes and shapes. So, all enzymes are proteins. All antibodies are proteins. But we can't say the same sort of thing about hormones. Some of them are proteins. For example, insulin is a protein. But some of them are steroid-derived. For example, testosterone and estrogen. And then others are amine-derived. For example, adrenaline. Okay, so they conform to a wide range of different chemical groups and sizes. We don't have that uniformity. They act as chemical messengers, and they interact with target cells or tissues or organs. Jackie has a small part at the base of her brain called the pituitary gland, and that produces a luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone has its action on Jackie's ovaries. So the pituitary gland is up here. The ovaries, of course, are south of your belly button, quite a distance between the two. That luteinizing hormone is going to go into the bloodstream. Where does the blood go? Everywhere. So how does luteinizing hormone know to affect the ovaries? The ovary cells that need to respond to luteinizing hormone will have special receptors in their cell membranes which are specific to that hormone. So as Jackie's blood passes through other parts of her body, other tissues and so on, those cells do not have the correct receptor molecules. So the luteinizing hormone won't interact, it won't do anything. But as soon as it gets to the relevant bit within the ovary, the right receptor molecules are there, and it's like I was showing you before when we were talking about antibodies and antigen. We then get an interaction, and you will get an effect. Hormones will identify certain cell types by the presence of receptor molecules. And receptor molecules may only be found on one target organ. So, for example, luteinizing hormone receptors on the ovary, or they may be found on a wide range of body tissues. For example, the receptors for estrogen and testosterone. So, for example, when I hit puberty, I started to develop secondary sexual characteristics of the male. Now, what happened was that my testes started to produce elevated levels of testosterone. So the level of testosterone in my bloodstream rose, and it started to interact with receptor molecules in all sorts of different parts of my body. So it reacted within general genitalia tissues in order to make them grow and testes to produce sperm and so on. But it also reacted with hair follicle cells on my face so that I grow a beard, or on my chest. Within the larynx in order to promote growth, which caused a deepening of the voice, and so on. So lots of different receptor molecules to testosterone throughout the body. And with you ladies, if you think about your secondary sexual characteristics, again, lots of different receptor molecules for estrogen throughout your bodies. So some of them are very specific, and then some of them are more widespread in their effect. And it just depends on where these receptor molecules are distributed. Everybody happy with that?